Hi everybody! Today I want to do a series using card sketches, and I got some from My Favorite Things because we sell some of their products in the boutique. And we're going to focus on this particular sketch here on our right hand side, and I just want to talk a little bit about how to size it. So the outside card edge, I always figure is basically like your base card. So it's going to be 5.5, and then across the top ways it'll be 4.25, because that's your typical A2 size card. Okay. Then the next color in, which is the gray color, we're going to figure out the size we want to do for that. And for me, with doing the card sketches, I like doing 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So from top to bottom, the length, instead of 5.5, the gray sheet would be 5 3/8. And then on the bottom, I'm going to write the, the width for that gray sheet, and that is going to be 4 1/8. Alright, so that's your basic. Here's my mat on top of the card, and then you only have to figure out the other pieces on the inside. So these two white pieces, you see there's a little bit of a black outline. You can take that to mean to mat your paper. You could leave the paper without a mat. It's up to you. And what I want to do over the next few weeks is actually show, or possibly even like go over how we can change up sketches, how once you figure out the numbers you're able to maybe mass produce sketches, and how they can be helpful and beneficial. So when I'm first writing down the numbers, my first thought is to always go big, because if you go big you can always cut down, but if you make something too small you can't make it grow, to make it a bigger size, right? So on here you saw me write a 3-inch like going across, and then 4-inch on the bottom, or going up and down. Well, after playing with it, I decided to show you. So I pulled out the cutter, and I'm going to take the pattern paper we're going to use, and I'm going to wind up cutting it 3 by 4 inches. Just bear with me. I had to grab the pack of paper off to the side, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly which paper I want to use, and I decided to do the stripe pattern. So I'm cutting it at 4 inches, and then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 3. And then, oh, I'm sorry, that one I was cutting as the base card. So that one was the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So that was that gray pattern, or the gray part of the card. That's the pattern piece that we're going to use for that section. Alright, so we'll put those aside, and then I'm going to grab our other pieces of paper, and this is where we'll cut for the focal point, the 2 squares or rectangles that are on the page. And like I said, I'm going to do 4 inches by 3 inches, and I'm going to hold it up against the card so you can kind of see why I say go big, and then that way you can, shrink it down. So in grabbing our card pieces that we have so far and looking at the piece we just cut, we can see that the 3 by 4 is going to take up a lot of space. And it could work, but it's just going to be that much, bigger. So I decided to go ahead and cut it down, and what I decided to do it with was make it 2.5 for the width, and for the length we make it 3.5. So 2.5 by 3.5. And we're going to do that with our second piece. We're going to do the 3.5, and then we're going to turn it and cut it at 2.5. So we'll have our 2 sheets. And then I was going to show you real quick here. I just fixed the 3.5 there, so that way I would know what I changed it to, so that way if I ever go back and do the sketch again, my notes are there. So now we're going to take this plain black cardstock, and I'm going to cut a mat for those 2 cards. So I'm going to do 3, yeah, I think I did it 3 and 3, no, not 3/8, 3 and 5/8 by 2 and 5/8. So that way there would just be an 1/8 of an inch border around, each of the cardstocks. And then we're going to cut. And then we're going to start to assemble. And I picked this one because it was fairly simple, but it was easy enough to be able to show you, how I break it down for the most part. Because sometimes it's just trial and error. You have to keep cutting down pieces until you get it to fit. But the important thing is if you're planning on ever using it again, definitely write it down. Keep yourself a journal or some type of notebook where you can keep track of your pages and the sizes that you made them. So on here, we're just going to tape it up again with the tape runner. Attach that sheet. And then I'm looking like that. See, now to me, that's more a doable size as far as, making sure that the sheet is laying. And my number one trick would be, or tip, would be to make sure you're always laying it out, testing it out, making sure everything's going to fit. Because sometimes you can mismatch measurements and it could wind up being a problem at the end. But this one was fairly simple, like I said before. So I decided that I wanted to tilt this card just a little bit on the angle, and we're going to go ahead and put that down with the tape runner. Now I am going to grab my ATG gun and put some tape, especially in the center. I like to use both, whichever way works best for you, but I love the ATG gun, and the tape runner, it works, but I would say my first choice would probably be the ATG. For videos, I use the tape runner because it's just quick and easy to have it right next to me. So for the ribbon or the line that goes across, I decided to use washi tape. Now, you could use ribbon, you could use lace, it could be thick, it could be thin, you could have used twine, whatever. The best thing about sketches is that it's basically implied what it should look like, but they don't specify material. So if you like twine better, you could wrap it with twine and then put your sentiment on top. Whatever floats your boat. I'm on a kick with this washi tape that I got, and there's something about the craft and the silver, and I've been using it like crazy. And right here I was just figuring out which circle to use. And lately what I've been doing is when I've been die cutting stuff out, I cut out extra and then I keep them in a baggie, so that way when I have stuff like this that I want to do, I have some that are already, cut up. On this part, sorry about the cut out or whatever, I paused for a second, and when I came back I realized I wasn't recording. But all I did was stamp happy birthday on the circle. And now we're going to attach this to the card. And I start off with the tape runner, and then I realize sometimes if you use ribbon, if you use anything that's thicker like the twine, stuff like that, you're going to need a really good adhesive because you don't want it to be puckering off of the front of the card. Now once we lay this down, I decided for our sentiment I wanted to pop it up, so I'm going to reach over and grab my Scotch foam tape, and I am running low. Uh-oh, I might have to get some more, Miss Edith. the shop does carry it. So if you guys are in need of it, you definitely want to go over there. She has really good prices on it. And I love this foam tape. I use it on almost every card, and it's so easy to tear. I love it. So once I put the backing on, or the tape on, I take the backing off, excuse me, and then I attach the sentiment. And on this particular video, I'm going to leave this one here. I'm not going to take it to the next level because that's going to be in more videos to come. But you could always add sequins. You could add, you know, stickles. There's a lot that you can do to embellish your card. Add pearls, however, whatever you want it to do. But I like how this is just really simple. It follows the sketch at hand, and you get a really beautiful yet simple card. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and please share. And I will see you guys with our next video, where we'll take the same sketch and we'll either do like mass producing, or we'll see how we can change it up even more. Thanks you guys, and have a great day.